Apogee. Any boomer shooter fan worth their salt will know that name. Rise of the Triad, Blake Stone, Duke Nukem, etc. You know what else they published? Well, now they published another game. A game by Trigger Happy Interactive, dubbed Turbo Overkill. And it definitely earns that name. Like most shooter games I like, the story can pretty much be ignored. All I know is that you're in the shoes of Johnny Turbo in a city named Paradise. No, not that one. And you gotta clean up the streets. The game itself isn't out, and all we currently have is the free demo during Steam Next Fest. I never paid much attention to Next Fest, or demos in that matter, at least on Steam. I remember regretting not getting the Viscera Fest demo in time for the last Next Fest, but I did end up buying that one day one, and I'll probably do the same with this game. Note that the footage you see in this video is my third playthrough of the demo, all of them being on the hardest difficulty, which isn't easy. I died a lot on my first playthrough, but due to playing it 3 times, and for some reason after beating the game once, all your items and augmentations will carry on to a new game, so I don't struggle as much in the footage you see here, but I do die. The first mechanic you'll see in the game is the chainsaw slide. A very fun mechanic where Johnny has a goddamn chainsaw in his leg. The game gives you ample slopes to slide down right into enemies, especially these things. I don't know what they are or what they're called, but they remind me of Love the Possessed from Serious Sam 4. It's like they are made to be slid into. On top of that, you also have run-of-the-mill troopers with plasma guns. They are a pain in the ass to deal with. As long as you keep moving, they won't shred you within seconds. I want to talk about your other starter weapon here besides the chainsaw, and that's your pistol. I can't imagine you'll be using them normally much, or if at all. It comes with an alt-fire mode where its smart pistol locks onto a handful of enemies and turns them to mush. It's definitely my go-to weapon with the troopers and turrets, and overall it's fun to use. The game has vending machines lying around for you to purchase ammo, augmentations, and weapon mods. And one of these mods is a godsend. Much like the pistol, you won't be using the shotgun's primary attack either after you buy its mod. It's a charge up only using 3 of your shells, which launches this radius of damage which depending on how you hit your enemy will stun them or just outright kill them. It can also propel you into the air for some good mobility. The movement in this game is very crisp. You'll be zooming around your enemies, wall running, sliding, or dropping onto them before they can even attack. With playing on higher difficulty like me, you have to play your cards right, cause some of the troopers will air shot you like a clay pigeon. What kind of game would I be reviewing? I have failed to mention the double barrel shotgun. Sorry, sawed-off double barrel. It's pretty fun to use with this game's movement. Powerful, reliable, and makes short work of your enemies. It comes with a gradient launcher mod that I didn't use that much. You also get dual SMGs, but I didn't really use them a lot. With the spray at rocks, it kind of makes it hard to see whatever you're shooting, and they just aren't as fun to use as the previous weapons. That spray downside can be negated with the focus fire mod, which replaces the 2 SMGs with only 1, but I still think it's boring to use. I guess it's good for dealing with turrets maybe. In that same boat is the chain gun. It's a standard entry in a game like this, but I don't find much fun or enemies that I'd use it on rather than other weapons. It comes with a flamethrower mod that you don't really use for the same reasons. It's not useless, but it's not a joy to use either. I will say with the spread reduction power up, both the SMGs and the chain gun are surprisingly fun to use. But when those types of guns are used by the wrong person, then it can get hectic. Like with this gun-wielding lardass who can shred you in a blink of an eye. But with 2 fully charged shotgun blasts, or 2 close-range double barrel shots, I'll have to dispatch him as he reoccurs throughout the demo. Another tougher reoccurring enemy is the electric hopping thing. It reminds me a lot of Quake's Fiend, except for the fact they leave behind these electro fields when they jump. They get a special entrance like the last enemy, and might give you trouble at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy to take down. They also drop pretty useful health packs. I like to end on the game's music and art style. It continues on that trend of Quake-like graphics and it has a vaporwave theme to it. If I'm honest, if you told me about the vaporwave thing before I saw the game, I'd probably not be eager to check it out, since vaporwave isn't really my kind of thing, but my feelings towards that doesn't apply here. With music by Nikolai Jermik, who's worked on games like Cyberpunk 2077, Destiny 2, Graven, the music really does fit whatever you're doing in the game at all times, whether you are fighting augmented forces, purchasing items at vending machines, or knocking on the door of an anti-chainsaw club. Overall, Overkill is one of my most anticipated games, and out of the other Next Fest games this year, it's the only one that really caught my eye. I just hope it doesn't take any spotlight from Postal Brain Damage.